Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today, and also to those that are catching up with the replay after the session. So today is the second webinar of our Agency's AI Advantage series, Unleashing the Power of AI Search. We will be continuing on from our last webinar's discussion around generative search, sharing some practical strategies and use cases that you can implement in your own client strategies and help to adapt to the fast evolving world of search. If you haven't already registered for the whole series yet, I'll drop the link in the chat in a minute. I'll also send it along with the replay of this after the session. I will also link the first webinar, SEO versus GEO, along with that. So if you missed that one, you can catch up on that. Joining me today is our very own AI officer, Hugo Silva again. You may have met him if you came to our last webinar. Hugo has been the driving force behind all of our AI development at Global. So really love having his input here with us. And also today we have Itiah Thomas, who is the founder and CEO of Top Ratings Reviews, a review platform making it easier for businesses to generate, manage, market, and analyze their reviews. So welcome, Hugo and Itiah. It's great to chat with you both, and I'm looking forward to this today. So just to quickly recap, since we are continuing on from GEO, briefly, Hugo, can you give us a bit of an overview? What is GEO? Why is it important, and what's happening with search?
Absolutely. So I think we can all recognize, and maybe this is where we should kick it off. We can all recognize that search engines has been a concept that has evolved in a way that it hasn't in quite a few years. So for a lot of time, we got used to the fact that SEO was all about Google and in some cases Bing. So we all know that Google is like 85 or 90% of the market share, and then Bing was this smaller player, depending on the market, obviously. But we got kind of used to search engines being these two big blocks, and whatever we were doing in terms of SEO or content optimization was specifically for these two formats. And if you were doing it the Google way, you were kind of doing it all at once. So what happens is, with the advent of search engines such as large language models, or that use natural process language, basically the entire industry started wondering exactly how can we manage information on ChatGPT, for instance. So how can we adapt SEO for Gemini or for large language models or for any AI tool that is out there right now? Do we play along with the same playbook that we were doing it with Google? Is that enough, or do we need to change a few things? So basically what GEO is generative engine optimization, which is pretty much an evolution of SEO, but it does focus on large language models in specific. Now, we aren't exactly breaking the industry and coming up with something that is 100% new. We are, once again, very much like the SEO way, we are evolving SEO. So if you work in SEO, you're very used to the fact that every now and then with a Google update, Google sets a few new instructions or guidelines for enhancing your SEO strategy. And it is doing the exact same thing now, AI engines oriented. And in a way, what we are talking about here is how can we make your content more accessible and make sure that users find your business or whatever you're trying to promote, or the information that you're trying to promote on large language models. So that is what GEO is essentially. And it's, if you want to put it like that, it is an evolution of SEO. Now, it's not as mature as SEO, and this is very important to make clear. So if you work in AI, you are used to the fact that you're riding the wave. So, you know, you kind of play along as things evolve. And we kind of need to make that very clear. But at the same time, it is very important to prepare our companies and prepare our clients for the fact that there is a new technology out here in the market, that it kind of has its own rules. So what we're trying to do with the GEO service, for instance, here at Global, is precisely adapting our customers and our agencies and preparing them for this incoming wave, and try to fetch as much information as we can as possible, and establish it as a service for our partners at this moment.
Yeah, it's definitely keeps changing and evolving, and we're always learning new things, aren't we? So last we touched briefly on the LLM TXT extension files and how they factor into reframing site and generative search and why it's so important. So we can do a bit of a practical session today. Can you just explain a little bit about what that is, what the LLM TXT files are, and why that's important?
Gladly. So when we talk about AI, and this is why I'm kind of excited for today's session, it's more of a hands-on kind of strategy. So when we talk about AI or SEO, it's very common that you have this more of high level, very much resembling to our last session where we're talking about the concept of GEO and not exactly putting our hands on the subject. So what I brought to this session today was precisely a new trend that is emerging, and we are very confident that it will become a standard, an industry standard very soon, which is the LLMs.txt file extension. So basically, to put this in a very simple manner, this, for all of those that are used to SEO, this resembles the robots.txt file extension that we are used to use for SEO purposes. So it is about having a file on your website where you enable large language models to crawl through your website's information in a more easy manner, in a more organized manner. You know, we need to take advantage of the fact that this new large language models or search engines, AI-powered search engines, have this natural language processing capabilities. So they want more contextual information on your website and not so much the robots.txt file extension. So what I brought to you today was basically, let me share my screen with you here for a second. This is basically what I'm presenting here is an LLM's full TXT file extension. So basically there are two main possibilities. The first one would be an LLM's TXT file extension, which would be kind of this more general, shorter version of this file I'm presenting. Okay, and then this is the detailed version with the entire sitemap on the file extension. So basically, what we're doing here is we're generating a sitemap, but we are removing any kind of noise that is HTML related, or that it doesn't really concern the large language model. So what this does is, by having this file on your website, it allows large language models to go through your website's information without spending as much tokens as normally it would require. So by bringing down the number of tokens that large language models would consume to access your website's information. And we need to consider here that large language models do this at a large scale, so kind of every token counts. So basically, what it does is it makes it easier for large language models to actually access your information, understand what your business is about, and present it to users. So in terms of behavior for large language models, what we're seeing right now, as we deploy the service, the two main things that we are noticing when it comes to the large language models, TXT file extension, is that not only large language models are actually better at reading your website, so it enhances their performances to their performance, but it's actually bringing in a new piece of information that we haven't really figured out before, which is the importance of domains and good and proper domains. So, for instance, and in a white labeling agency, for instance, if you have an agency that provides white labeling services, for instance, to have the domain white labeling agency, for instance, .com is now very much it's now increased its importance in the way that large language models actually consume the information from the LLMs.txt file extension, but at the same time they connect it, they contextualize it with the domain name. So to have this solid, highly replicated domains, and if possible, very obvious domains. So the more clear the domains are on what your business does, the better. So LLMs put those two pieces of information together, and they provide a better answer to the prompts, to the user prompts. So this is basically what I wanted to present today. It's no more than a sitemap, but it's a sitemap without the noise of HTML or whatever code we usually put in this kind of file.
Yeah, cool. And that's something that we can also help with as well for agencies when they're coming through.
Absolutely. So to any of you that might be interested, whether here on the session or watching us live recorded, you can actually reach out to Leanne. I believe Leanne. I don't know exactly how that will work.
Me. I'll send you an email out afterwards, so you've got the details there.
Great. So basically, we are making it available for anyone out there. If you want to have the lighter version of this file, obviously having the more structured version of this requires more time, but we can make it available for you guys. The lighter version of this file. We already have some interested people here, Leanne.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that we will gladly share with you guys. And obviously, if you notice any kind of changes, or even if you don't, obviously any kind of SEO work takes its time. But if you guys see any kind of results, whether in large language models or even on the SEO front, please share with us. We would love to get your feedback on this as well.
Awesome. Yes, definitely. So just moving on from that there, another thing that we wanted to talk about today with AI implementation and the practical approach is how other ways that we can utilize AI for more than just creating content. So there's plenty of other things that we can do in relation to GEO and ways that we can do that. And one of the things that you and I were talking about previously was topic research. So you able to share about that process?
Yeah. So you are well aware of this. That I like to focus on. And I think this goes across the board with everyone working with AI. We can look at any kind of process and try to understand exactly what is taking the time out of what can be taken out of my hands in terms of time, or where am I investing the biggest chunk of my time. So that's really where AI can come in and help us to become more efficient and take some time off of our hands. But one of the things that we are well used to, if you're in the content business, is the fact that research requires a lot of time. So usually, studies show that 35 to 40% of the time invested into any kind of content usually are allocated to research. So if you take up to 8 hours to do some research, this would mean that you would have to do like 3 or 3.5 hours of research. It requires a lot of time. It requires you to go through videos, to go through other blogs, to go through other experts in the field. So in order having that in mind, basically what we started to here at Go, what we started to work with the copywriting team was enabling them to have, how could we enable them to have a more speedy response or a faster response to content outputs. If we could, and basically what they mentioned was that the research process was really what was affecting the output. So thinking on how we could enhance that process and have some efficiency gains there, what we came up with is, and this is just an internal tool, and again, this is something we can definitely share with anyone interested out there. So this is no more than a content video research tool. You can see my...
Now we should be able to.
You want me to reshare it?
No, we can just see that now.
Good. So if usually copywriters use a lot of YouTube, and video is definitely a great thing to is a great tool for us to do research, but it does take us a lot of time to go through all of those videos as well. So if let's take this, well, this could be an interesting topic. Let's just take this video here, and let's assume the position of that we are copywriters right now. Just on that. So what we're going to do here, and this is what our team is doing, is simply just hitting hi here on our GPT. We created a GPT here that basically allows you to get some angles, content angles on any kind of content out there. If we can just, we basically what we're doing here right now is we're generating a transcript for the video, and we simply now have to paste it here. So what we will be getting from this GPT is a few takeaways or content angles that we could use based on this video. So right away, the copywriter can actually understand if this video is of interest for them, or even if you've watched the video and you're not sure on what angle you should pursue content-wise, then basically you just copy paste the script to this tool, and it will give you this 3 or 4 key takeaways that act as 3 or 4 different content angles that you can go with for your blog post or for your YouTube video or whatever. So basically what this does is you kind of you can bulk analyze videos on a faster way. You don't need to go through the entire 10 minutes or 5 minutes for each video before you decide if that's a proper video or a useful video for your research or not. So you can actually have this delivered to you in terms, making it a lot more efficient from the content research point of view. And again, if any one of you out there is actually interested on the solution, this is something that we can easily provide as well. And that's what I wanted to bring today. I think AI is very useful for this kind of. This is really, I think this is where the biggest AI game is going to be played, is on the small things and quick hacks, and exactly this kind of tools that really speed up the process all across the border. And this kind of GPTs that we usually add here for the team, or that we create for them and tailor it to the team's needs, is exactly the best kind of efficiency hack or efficiency advice that I would pass on. So basically, to any of you out there, if you're looking for any kind of tips and tricks or efficiency hacks, basically just look into the process that you have in hand and kind of understand exactly what is consuming, what is time consuming, and see if you can find a way for AI to provide a faster output for you.
Absolutely. And how does that play into things like keyword research, finding queries? It's similar process, or is there another different process that we can follow for creating efficiencies in that regard?
I wouldn't advise anyone to use ChatGPT for a keyword research. So basically, ChatGPT does not have it provides contextual information, but it doesn't have search volumes, for instance. It doesn't tailor your needs to your target market. So it's not exactly, ChatGPT should not be used for keyword research. The exact same way Google should not be used, the search engine, for keyword research. And I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of the times people come up and ask me, how do you do keyword research for GEO, or large language models? And the answer to that question is the exact same way you do for SEO. So again, this is SEO evolving, and the only kind of nuance that I would like to pay more attention is the fact that these large language models, they don't work so much on a keyword base, but they work on a contextual frame. So connecting to Itiah's presence here, for instance, basically what a large language model does is it analyzes my blog, for instance, and then crosses information with, for instance, user-generated content, ratings or reviews or YouTube videos. So by enabling this kind of ecosystem of information, or creating this ecosystem of information, this is how large language models respond to user intent, right? So it's not necessarily about having the right keyword, there seems to be a lot of confusion around prompt management or prompt engineering these days. People kind of think that prompts came to replace keywords, and that's not exactly what it is, because for keywords, you can actually search the volume, or search. There's plenty of data for keywords out there in the market, but the way that you find the right product or the right service for you, it really depends on how you prompt it. So you can never really guess what the prompt is going to be. So our bet needs to be on making it as contextual as we can, cover as many themes as we can, and actually provide it with reputation tools. So this is where I think both of our fields connect here today, is the fact that on one hand, I'm more focused on how to produce content, how to make sure that this content is crawlable by large language models, how to make sure that this content goes through the team in the fastest way it can, but at the same time, not automating 100% of the content. That's not what we're going after here. And then planing that field with other proofs of service. So for instance, we covered YouTube last session, is definitely something that it really robusts your strategy. And user-generated content such as ratings and reviews are definitely proof of service. And it is a way for large language models to counterbalance the AI explosion, content explosion that happened over the course of the last 2 or 3 years. So Google and ChatGPT are leaning more and more on user-generated content to counterbalance the fact that anyone can put AI content out there in a quick manner. So human-validated responses, human-validated ratings, and really enhance credibility, and really do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of reputation management. And it kind of gives large language models, if you want to, the confidence to suggest your service or your product as a proper response to a prompt. I don't know if that makes sense. Do feel free to ask me to elaborate on that if you need to.
Well, it's good. It's I'm gonna segue into user-generated content now and how that impacts our GEO. So I'm just going to hand it over to Itiah here because
Great.
that's exactly what you do.
Yes. Awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen and see if that is okay.
Okay, we should have
already seen my host. Oh, there we go. How about now? Okay, so you have the impact of user-generated content already in your ranking. You can see that. Amazing. Awesome. All right. So my name is Itiah Thomas, and I am the founder and CEO of Top Ratings Reviews. And today I'll speak about the impact of user-generated content on ratings, on revenue and ranking, and how Top Ratings Reviews, the platform, can help you and your clients. So in particular, the type of user-generated content that I'll be speaking about today is focused on ratings and reviews. So yes, essentially the first question here, why ratings and review matter for business revenue. So I've shared some stats here to just really demonstrate about like how much more money can be essentially produced there in terms of increase in revenue for additional star ratings and the comfort that customers have when they're seeing higher ratings and reviews and how that impacts their buying and purchasing decisions for some of the reasons that Hugo already started to touch on in terms of that credibility, about kind of taking that risk out by people looking at the social proof of others that have kind of gone before them and taken that chance on you as a business owner with a product or service. And when I say you, I mean not only you as digital marketers, but also your clients. And so that's that peer influence really does have that impact there in terms of really making people feel more comfortable to spend more and more susceptible or open to the upsells and add-ons as well. And so that confidence that it gives the customers there, especially when they are comparing to competitors. And so in terms of why it matters for SEO, and we use SEO and GEO interchangeably here a little bit. And so in terms of the impressions or why that ratings and reviews impacts local search ranking, because one of some of the factors of frequency. So for instance, how often are the reviews coming in? Is it 5 a week? 5 every 3 months, and that freshness, how recent the reviews are. It's something like last week, or once again, maybe closer to a year ago. Really the quantity as well, how many reviews a business has, and positivity-wise, like how positive is the rating, how high is the rating, how positive is the review. And speaking on that relevance in that context there, how relevant your business is to what is being searched upon. So the search engines really do rank businesses with positive ratings and reviews higher in local search results because they're important indicators of, going back to relevance there, that keyword in that context there really does signal to the search engines your business's context and offerings, and increases the chances of appearing in relevant search. It's also an indicator of the quality of the business. So if there are that many people that are coming in and buying to give you a rating review, it's signaling there that trust, that credibility, and that authority. And that's also leading to higher visibility, organic traffic, and less marketing ad spend. It's required because we're letting those happy customers do the work of promoting businesses, and such that listings with higher ratings tend to get up to about 30% more clicks. So that click-through rate for less money. Who doesn't? So, and really just also touch on the benefits of responding to ratings and reviews. So getting back to, I call it the relevance double dip. So those words that are not only able to be searched upon in context from the reviews from customers, but also your replies to those reviews. And it's also signaling to current and potential customers your level of engagement, professionalism in responding to negative reviews, which can actually improve your reputation. and the appreciation of customers' time to provide that feedback and that you value their opinion in addressing their concerns. That recognition makes customers feel special and can encourage more reviews and more foot traffic. So I wanted to get into a little bit of I call it story time. So quickly, just the evidence here that people are paying attention to ratings reviews. So along the top row there, I compared some of the ratings reviews I've done for businesses over the past 3 years or so, and then reviews that towards the bottom here that I've only done about 6 months ago. And I was seeing, I don't think I've necessarily grown in extra popularity per se, that people are looking at my ratings reviews specifically, but I'm just noticing like how much in that shorter amount of time that those reviews are getting nearly as many reviews as like the ones I've done 6 months ago are getting maybe the same number of views and outpacing the ones that I did even 3 years ago. So it's picking up in terms of how much people are like just really tuning in. That's my take of that. And so one of the ones that I have at the kind of the bottom right here is a review that I did only about 6 months ago. And that review has gotten about 5,000 plus views on just the image alone. And it was just my nails. And it's saying that, hey, look how good they are still at 10 days later. And so Google's emailing me saying, hey, you have like 1,000 plus people have looked at it, and you're really helping folks, make some decisions here and finding the services that are relevant to them. And so we're seeing Google is encouraging to contribute more and gamifying the experience for reviewers with points and levels, and such to the point that reviews from reviewers that are at higher levels are given more weight because they are seen as expert local guides. So that is, I think I'm like 5 whatever reviews away for being someone that you're going to want to have like reviewing your business there. So you and your clients can capture and leverage ratings reviews with the help of my platform, Top Ratings Reviews. So we make it easier for business owners to improve their online reputation and win more customers with one platform to collect, manage, market, and analyze ratings and reviews. So I'm just going to pop on over and do a quick demo of some of the features here and kind of explain why they are the benefit that they do provide here. So the first is that able to integrate with 40 plus or so rating review platforms, and also there's a built-in video testimonial feature as well. So while it just kind of makes it a kind of a gathering, an aggregator essentially. So this is one, I'm just kind of using a demo product, a demo client that we have here for Starbucks. And this is about 40 or so, like I said, integration platforms. So the Facebooks and the Googles of the world are like your standard, but there's things like TripAdvisor and Trustpilot and Amazon. So things that are relevant for specific industry as well. Google Shopping on Capterra. So really kind of popular platforms to be on, and ones are being added as well. So by having and equals the ability to have the relevance, authority, and visibility across many platforms where customers are, which is also great for that generative search. So there's essentially offering this one platform to manage, to come in and see all of these reviews coming together. So just coming over to the review tab. So on the reviews tab, this is where kind of that funnel, that feed of those various platforms that would have been integrated, it's coming into. So like I said, these themselves are not authentic reviews, it's just the demo platform part, demo content rather. And so, for instance, we're able to see Google and Facebook are coming through. It also has the ability here to, right now we're just looking at New York location, but there are several locations, for instance, that would be connected here. So you can see reviews by just that one location of New York, or toggle on and see all locations coming through in one feed. The ability to go ahead and say, look, I just want to see ones with negative sentiment, so I can address those first, for instance. And being able to filter between reviews that are from either one of those platforms, because only 2 are integrated in the moment, are reviews that have come in privately, or Facebook or video testimonials as well. whether or not you've answered, and a date range as well. Okay. So it's also, not only is it one place to see, but it's one place to be able to reply from. And so instead of having to go into several different platforms and log in, a review can be replied to directly here. And so there's either a custom reply. So if you have kind of the templated way that you kind of typically put something in as a reply, that can be saved here as well, or using AI to reply. It's kind of defaulted to normal answer, but it can be changed to being kind of a long or a short answer as well. And just kind of let AI do its thing, and we can some emojis as well, right? So just for the sake of time, I will come out of it because it's still reading and finding out what it would like to say. But essentially when it's done here, you can press send, and that would actually go directly to and then be posted on Google without having to log in separately there. So I'll just close out of it, but it's on its way to writing a note. So it also enables to be able to share directly from directly into social media as well. And so with integrating, for instance, Instagram or Facebook, what have you, it can press this share on social, and from the settings space, you can set up like what you want that post kind of body to be around it, that kind of sits around the actual post review itself. And the colors can be customized as well. And so it's a kind of a one-click share to social, or if you want to kind of download the template, the image of what's being shared, that can also be sort of downloaded and uploaded when you're ready to. So we'll do, so it can download that, but otherwise it's just kind of a picture that comes along with it, and the post body is configured in the settings. So that's always kind of the same body of saying, hey, thank you, person's name, for this review, the body of the review. And if, for instance, Instagram or whatnot was connected, that would be able to push directly there. So we also have the ability to go ahead and actually send out those ratings and the requests for a review. So just coming over to this tab. So requests can be sent out via several ways: SMS, email, WhatsApp, QR code, and also provide NFC cards that people can tap against as well. So these multiple ways to reach out to customers to request reviews, and there's multiple ways for them to then choose their preferred method as well. So it doesn't require needing to have like a separate contacts here as well as CRM. So one way to be able to send out kind of en masse messages here through uploading a CSV and with the name and the email address, and or you can add them one by one. But it also gives a space here to kind of say what variables you like to have in the message itself, and shows a preview over here with the templates that can be saved, and ability to turn on triggers, 3 days and 7-day reminders, because we're all busy and so are the customers, right? And so it makes it easier to have that automatically come about without having to remember like who did what, because it just tracks who's opened the link or not. And that message can be customized depending on can be different from each other for 3 days to 7 days, or the initial one that was sent out. And then the collection of, as those requests are coming through, they're collecting down here, so you can see. So this is what I consider to be the manual way. So not only can it be done with these three here, but also through the automate tool. And so the automate tab is really going through and setting up the triggers to like customer purchases or someone signing up to a newsletter. And that reduces the time that manual task of asking for ratings or reviews, or actually even doing this to upload as well. But it will use the same messaging that it was been created here, but the triggers are instead of happening automatically through things like Xero, QuickBooks, Stripe, Airtable are all platforms that can be integrated with as well. So And I'd say the last thing I just want to share in here is about the analytics. No, second to last. Before I go to analytics, the review link. So we get to see that kind of happening in real time here. So for instance, so I said that there's like kind of one landing page that makes it easier for customers to leave reviews through this one link and for owners to privately manage these ratings and reviews. So for instance, I'm going to go back to the beginning, refresh this in here, and coming through a link through the SMS or email, what have you. The first question is, this image can be, of course, changed here. The logo can be changed. How was your experience? And so if we were to give it a 5-star, 4 or 5-star, you can choose actually what that review gating is. So 4 or 5 stars, then it will come to all of the platforms that have been integrated with. So, and for instance, if they were to go to Facebook, for instance, we would go here and it would actually be brought directly to the Facebook profile. So it saves time for your customers trying to scrounge around, figure out where, which link, which place to kind of go to and search around and get distracted and scroll and do something else on Facebook and never make it to your page anyway. So it's already bringing you directly on the reviews tab there. It also increases that potential that they can leave you reviews across multiple platforms because they're kind of already here. And so if they were to go to Google, once again, they're landing on a Google page, not only the Google page, but actually it's opening up directly to the reviews portion of it as well. And they can go ahead and continue leaving their reviews there. So Google taking a moment, but eventually Starbucks, they ask a lot of questions. It's not just 5 stars. It's like, how was our service? Did you like our drink? How was the atmosphere? Like they give you a lot of things to rate upon. So they don't make it easy to get in and out, just like being in their stores. So this is what I mean by all the extra questions that they asked as well. And so, but I think another feature that's really cool here as well is that you can set your threshold ratings under which, if the ratings are not up to par. So in this instance, I think set it for 3 and below. So if this, we give it a 3, then that review that it's coming privately, coming to the owner privately first. So it's kind of giving that kind of initial pause here to just be like, hey, like we want you to be happy. That's your account information. Let's, get in touch with you directly, instead of it doesn't stop people who are like super irate, because people are people going forth and doing so, but it does give you that like kind of that extra thing here to try to capture them and say like, look, we care. So you can manage it before it gets, to a public thing here. And so then that last thing here is just the analytics tab. And so that tab is over time frames here that can be selected upon. It shows you how your reviews are growing, how many invites have been sent, how many codes, how many people have visited your unique codes, your QR code rather, and how many have been gained over that time. So I think my parting words here is just, and that's kind of a recap of everything here. High level case studies here is that we've been able to help multiple companies go from kind of maybe 2 digits to about 3-digit ratings, largely used from that automation to be able to send out those requests and those follow-ups as well, and seen an increase on Google, like the traffic that's come through to their Google profile and the interactions there. And we've even had someone like Jenny who's gone from no reviews to 5-star reviews within 3 weeks. So she went from like not having a good Google business profile at all, helped her set it up, and to doing that for someone who's growing their business at marketplaces. And so that is it. I'll just leave you the screenshot up here of offers until we can stay off of my screen share. But essentially, here's the 30-day free trial. QR code to the platform, and also there's affiliate programming as well. So you get 15% commissions, and even your referrals get a discount on plans as well. So that's it for me.
Yeah, the affiliate style system that you've got there would be great for agencies managing their clients' accounts, being able to put all of them under your affiliate account. And but one of the things you mentioned there is actually getting the reviews in the first place is the hardest part. So what you've got set up and that automated system of sending those out, getting those to all your clients, all your customers, clients, and actually managing to capture those reviews, that's most of the battle.
Awesome. And then being on top of them and not having to go into those multiple platforms there. Because the worst thing you do is just lose the visibility of reputation.
Yes. Definitely. And I know, Hugo, you touched on it before, but that credibility that reviews bring to your clients' projects and accounts and things like that, that really helps with search Absolutely. In general.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it's interesting. I don't go out for dinner without checking the reviews on the place I'm about to go. That's I mean, that for me, restaurants in particular, I've started doing this, and I hadn't even realized how embedded this behavior became for me, just checking the place before I go somewhere. So I was just, it kind of it hit me during the presentation exactly how actually AI tools are doing the exact same thing by the exact same reasons, which is so basically what AI tools are doing at this moment is kind of impersonating a user and going through reviews and seeing if this information is like hearing from a restaurant from you, Leanne, and then going into Google and check the reviews and the ratings. So this is exactly what large language models are doing. But the reason they're doing it, this is what I've mentioned early on, the reason they're doing it is because there has been a content explosion due to AI. And there is really no way to counterbalance this. Even in SEO, I mean, if you're into SEO, you know that Google has been putting kind of these breaks to AI content. So they promote AI content. They obviously like AI content. They are aware that everyone uses AI to produce content. But what they are against is the fact that you can simply just ask ChatGPT for a blog post and then just put it up. That doesn't really add value to the entire ecosystem. So it's like hearing a review that was given to you by someone that you really don't know, and then going to cross that with other people's experiences to enhance the credibility of your blog posts, for instance. So or your suggestion for a restaurant. So basically, what large language models are doing is just checking visibility in a bulk manner, or they are using ratings and reviews to have this human proof of service or this human credibility stance where they can actually understand. There's no fooling reviews or rating systems, especially not at a bulk level. The amount of work that would require, and it would be easily spottable for us, because one thing we can also I also learned to spot is services or business owners that actually fake reviews. I don't know if you came across that if you came across that phenomenon. Maybe Itiah, you have. So you can easily spot fake reviews on a platform as well, but they're usually in a very small number. So there's really no way, for instance, for Starbucks New York to fake customer reviews or fake customer ratings. So that's exactly what Google or OpenAI lean towards when on the moment of finding out if your products or your services actually exists, or if it's actually as good as you say it is on your website. So they let users do the work for them, and I think this is the best part of user-generated content, is letting users. It's a layered version of word of mouth. So it's letting users actually do the work for you, and I think this is the definitely something that we need to take. We need to take a moment here and understand that user-generated content has been mentioned and has been brought up on the SEO front a lot of times. People obviously understand and acknowledge the importance of user-generated content, specifically reviews and ratings. But it is now coming to a moment due to the AI content explosion where it's actually becoming vital to have these kind of platforms and to have this kind of human validation for large language models. If doing it for the users wasn't enough for you, then definitely do it for the large language models. Absolutely.
Definitely. So has anybody got any questions or want to raise anything? What we've covered today? Just drop a question in the chat or unmute yourself. No? Cool.
They're very good or very bad.
Sorry. Yeah, one or the other. Awesome. All right. So yeah, thank you so much, Hugo and Itiah, for jumping in and going into more detail about what we can actually do to start implementing GEO for our agencies, for our clients, and getting those balls rolling as if things are evolving and changing. I've dropped some links in the chat. One is for top ratings reviews if you want to check that out. The link is there. I've also linked in our GEO consult, so if you want to have a chat to us about either the LLM TXT files, GEO in general, anything along those lines, the link is there. And I've also linked in our GEO ebook, so if you want to grab a copy of that, that's in there. Cool. And I will also send all the links to everybody after the session and email along with the replay, so you can go back and catch up. I know there's a couple that came in later, so you can catch the beginning of the chat there. And earlier I popped in the webinar series link, so I'll include that as well if you want to register for that and catch the whole series. We're talking all things AOA and digital marketing and how that impacts us as visual agencies. So thank you again.
You.
Really appreciate talking to you too. And everybody that joined us today, have a great day.
Thank you so much, guys.